In 2019, when the Supreme Court of Nigeria declared Ozekhome as the winner of Imo governorship election, the whole Nigerians reacted because that is not supposed to be so. But who are you to question Supreme Court? Supreme Court is like the god of a nation. So anything they say will come to place. But this man, Mike Ozekhome, senior advocate of Nigeria, now took a motion back to the Supreme Court to tell them that, look at, there was a mistake in passing out this judgment. If it will please you, the court, revisit this judgment because there was an error. So the Supreme Court gave date to hear this motion and so on and so forth. But look at what the Supreme Court now disclosed to Nigerians. It says the Supreme Court on Tuesday imposed a fine of 40 million naira on a senior advocate of Nigeria, Mike Ozekhome, for filing frivolous, vexatious, and irritating motion before the court in respect of Imo governorship tussle, decided since 2019. So the Supreme Court fined Ozekhome 40 million naira because they said he is bringing or he brought a vexation case to the court. Does that make sense? Now, I think this is a situation that Supreme Court is supposed to use to correct the bad names they have, even though they did not declare the PDP candidate winner of the election. But I think there is a way they're supposed to use to address this, that, oh, this thing has passed. I think there was a mistake or here and there. Or just shutting the door against somebody that brought case before you and finding the person the sum of 40 million naira for bringing vexation case. It makes Nigerians to understand that we are going into kakistocracy, where people that don't supposed to be in a position will be there. People who are not qualified, even though they have the certificate, but from their integrity and their dispositions, you will understand that, oh, these people are not qualified. They are not supposed to be there. We saw everything going on in Nigeria, the mistakes INEC made and so on and so forth. Nobody has fined INEC up to now. Nobody is talking against them. The judiciary will be supporting them. Which kind of kabab or which kind of Ugboni group do we have in Nigeria? Because this one is becoming, beyond politics. This is not politics anymore. It is becoming beyond politics, and it's like we are entering into Ugboni confraternity. That anything you bring upon APC, anything you bring upon them, either you are right or you are wrong, the court is going to bring you down. The court is just going to slap you. So that is the direction we are going now. Now, let me have few of your minutes. Let me read out this article from Leadership newspaper. It says, Supreme Court slams 40 million fine on Ozekhome over frivolous case. It reads, the Supreme Court on Tuesday imposed a fine of 40 million on a senior advocate of Nigeria's son, Mike Ozekhome, for filing frivolous, vexation, and irritating motion before the court in respect of Imo governorship tussle decided since 2019. Ozekhome was handed the fine for bringing a motion before the apex court seeking to revalidate the suit that removed Emeka Ihedioha as governor of Imo State since 2019. The senior lawyer was ordered in a ruling by Justice Tijani Abubakar to personally pay the 40 million fine to the 4 respondents he dragged before the courts. Those to be paid are the Action People's Party APP, Uche Nadi, Uche Mosu, and the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC. In the motion considered to be frivolous by the court, Ozekhome had asked the court for a consequential order to compel INEC to issue a fresh certificate of return to Ihedioha to enable him spend 4-year tenure as Imo State governor. His gross was that the incumbent governor, Senator Hope Uzodinma, unlawfully spent the 4 years which Ihedioha ought to spend. Among others, Ozekhome in the motion claimed that the All Progressive Congress APC had no candidate in the 2019 Imo State governorship election. Hence, Uzodinma ought not to have been made governor on the platform of APC. However, the apex court dismissed the motion on the ground that it has no jurisdiction to entertain such a motion. Justice Abubakar held in the ruling that the request was strange, frivolous, baseless, unwarranted, vexation, and irritating. He further held that the motion was a calculated design to demonize the Supreme Court of Nigeria. This was the stand of the judge of the court, Abubakar. Now, the reason why we don't like, or so many Nigerians are reacting negatively to the outcome of the Supreme Court, if there is any case you don't want to entertain, you dismiss it. Nigerians are paying you for the work you are doing. So finding somebody who brought case before you 40 million because you say the case is what adjective am I going to use to qualify it? Is frivolous, vexatious, and so on and so forth. See, the things that are happening in Nigeria, we don't see this thing happening in other countries. We don't see it happening in another country. That you bring a case to the court and the judge will tell you that no, this case you bring is making me to be angry. You're going to pay 40 million naira. Look at. Whereas the left criminals, those who embezzle the money, who rig the election, INEC that manipulate the election, they leave them without a fine, without nothing. So this is the situation we find ourselves in Nigeria. And that is why it is very important for us to understand where this country is heading to.
Don't ever believe that a politician is a leader. Don't ever believe that. Because the system that we have produces politicians. It doesn't produce leaders. And so you can have a politician who knows nothing about leadership and he's leading you. Politicians are concerned about the next election. That's all they're interested in. That's why they cannot be leaders. But leaders are different. Leaders are concerned about the next generation. I want you to compare those two thoughts the next time you have a politician come to your house wanting to vie for your vote. Just ask him, what is your vision for my children? I will sit and listen for 20 minutes for you to tell me what it is. He will leave your house because he has no interest in your children's children. His concern is to stay in power, to keep the position, to win the next election. This is why they cannot lead. When you are going to have a conversation with a politician, you should actually try this as a test. You, by the way, as a citizen of a community, you have a right to be seen by the mayor. I hope you know that. If you voted for a mayor, the mayor works for you. Therefore, you have a right to see him. You can make an appointment to see any public officer you voted for. Did you know that? That's your legal right. If he don't want to see you, you can take him to court. That's democracy. So I want you to make an appointment to go and see your mayor or go and see your governor and just sit and say, I want 30 minutes with you, sir. And ask him about that list right there. Sir, what is your purpose for being in leadership in this city? What is your purpose? The first question will make him very nervous. Second question, what is your passion for our community? He'll be wondering what you're talking about. What are you talking about? I just want to build roads and bridges and provide jobs. No. What is your passion? And this is why we need to question the leaders we have. And so I have a little thought here. I call it politics versus leadership. Let's talk about it for a second. Number one, politicians focus on programs, not vision. Number two, politicians' priority is securing the next election, not securing the next generation. Their focus is different. Number three, politicians are preoccupied with promises, not purpose. What we need is statesmen, stateswomen. We don't need more politicians. A statesman is an interesting human. A statesman thinks of the next generation.